Hey, I commented on a video about kids working on tobacco farms being exposed to pesticides. I'm not sure what pesticides they use on tobacco, but the kids were fainting and getting nicotine poisoning, and I was like, well, the pesticides are probably hurting them too. And somebody said, organic, you don't know anything. Your organic pesticides are probably the worst out there as far as what I know. And I wanted to clear this up because everybody should know, I think, what it means, what organic means. And I want to share the reasons why we eat a mostly organic diet. The usual conventional pesticides and herbicides do more harm than good. And no matter what side you're on, like if you think they're okay, if you don't think they're okay, the fact is that it is a synthetic chemical and it does persist in the environment. That is the problem. Like, what was Agent Orange an herbicide?
Two herbicides mixed together, yes.
Is still in the environment in Vietnam and other places, and it is persisting, and it will be there until they try and clean it up. And that is probably the worst part about synthetic conventional pesticides, is that they stay in the environment, and all the little bugs and the beneficial weeds and all the good things that nature has to defend itself, I guess, are depleted by these pesticides. Another reason why is because, which this is pretty funny, the methods that our grandparents used to use are conventional to them, but they actually were practicing more organic, approved ways to grow things than they knew that they were organic. They used natural available predators to keep away pests, which would harm the fruits of their labor. And it's funny that the conventional has come to mean dousing edibles with some pretty harmful stuff, like glyphosate, which has been proven to be seriously toxic, but it's still on the market.
I got mine as a cat.
She being too difficult?
No, she's fine. She's just warm.
The Guide to Organic Insect and Disease Management points out there are some things that are naturally occurring that can be toxic, like poison ivy, obviously isn't good for you. But they're toxic for such a short period of time, and some are used in organic farming. Those things, though, do not impact wildlife on the same level like neonicotinoids do. You know, those things that bayer the cells, and they're probably killing bees and all sorts of other flying insects. And like copper sulfate, I think, is pretty toxic. And there was also, as far as organic items go, and there was a pesticide that was used, or an herbicide, I'm not sure which, that was taken off of the market because it was so bad. Like pyrethrum type pesticides are, they're natural, they're just so concentrated that they can be kind of harmful. But that's not to defer you away from organic farming and organic produce, because the benefits far outweigh the consequences. Another reason why is because it's really rewarding to grow your own, don't you think? The practices that you use when you garden organically, whether you're growing flowers or edibles, it's good to know that they're not going to persist in the environment and not cause damage, and that And when we go in our garden, I see snakes, I see spiders, I see butterflies, everything. All the beneficial bugs, wasps, ladybugs,
Tons of bees too.
and tons of bees. And we keep weeds around because the ones that they like, I mean, why would I kill it if they like it? It's a good source of pollen for them. So we keep certain weeds around. We don't kill bugs that aren't going to hurt our crops. Like there's these little green caterpillars that just love kale, and I throw them, pick them off and throw them. That's another organic method. You can just take it off by hand and throw it. This is a big one, a big reason. Bee colony collapse hasn't probably been furthered by organic pesticides since rotenone has been banned. That was the one, the organic pesticide that was pretty toxic. It was botanically derived and harmful to bees, so they did take it off the market. And that's important to know, that they actually care about the environment if they're willing to take it off. And the people on the opposition that have created Agent Orange, sorry about the bugs, have created Agent Orange, what else have they made?
DDT?
DDT. It's just like glyphosate, so many toxic substances, not only to us, not only to the plants, not only to the animals, but also to waterways and the soil in general. They're still available and they're still selling them. And that says a lot about a company, that they will do anything to get money, as much money as possible, and they don't care about the consequences. That's why we like organic methods more than conventional methods. This one is a little off topic, but it still is relevant. Genetically modified crops were in part invented to withstand very large quantities of glyphosate, a toxic herbicide linked to birth defects and other nastiness. So regardless of what your opinion is on GMOs themselves, if they're harmful in any way via ingestion or not, you can't dispute the fact. Thank you. You can't dispute the fact that the herbicides that are usually used on these crops are in fact super harmful and stuff you do not want to come in contact with. But apparently, from the time that it comes from the field and gets in your grocery store, somehow magically this poison that's coated with disappears and it's safe to eat. I don't really trust that. That magic does not sound good. That they're trying to convince you that it's safe when it's really not. They kill beneficial weeds, like I said, like milkweed. I think the monarch uses that as part of their diet, and if they don't have any food anymore, bye-bye monarchs. That would not be pretty. So that's a big reason why we buy organic, because we don't want to support all of that nastiness. By choosing organically farmed food, you are likely supporting smaller scale farms and not supporting large factory farms. This means that buying organic apples, apple orchards on a small scale, are putting less copper, sulfate into the environment, and that's really important because heavy metals persist in the environment, whether they're organic approved or not. They are naturally occurring, but in large quantities they are toxic to living things. And that brings me to my last point. Do you want to talk about March Against Monsanto?
in full support of it.
On the 24th, right?
The 24th.
You have to Google probably to find where your march is near you. But there is a march against Monsanto, the corporation that produces glyphosate. And
Amongst other things.
the same people that murdered
5 million Vietnam people.
5 million people in Vietnam and have scarred people still to this day by putting Agent Orange into their environment. And they still exist, and that is pretty disgusting because essentially they're murderers. So if you think that's wrong, and if you think that them just spraying crap wherever they please is wrong, then we urge you to go march and protest at the area nearest you on the 24th. So I hope this was informative, and I hope that you might consider buying something on the Dirty Dozen list that's provided by EWG in the future.
And now feel free to argue in the comments.
Yeah, argue in the comments below.
We'll see you soon.